Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, one and all. I am Edward Keene, and you are listening to the Caps Locks and Chair Shots podcast, brought to you by Right to Censor and RealSport101.com. With me, as always, is the muscle of the podcast. He is the future voice of the Philippines and hopeful MMA fighter, the one, the only, the Jaime. Say hi to the people.
What's up, wrestling fans? Your always present co-host reporting for duty.
And joining me is my tag team compatriot. You know him as the Unfunny Comedian. He is very controversial on Twitter. I recommend you check him out if you want to get a little ticked off. Everybody say hello to Alex.
I am a real American. Fight for the rights of every man.
And I am glad he stopped there. Alright, first off, it has been a few weeks since we have done anything sort of what we are known to do, and that is break down all the wrestling action that is happening inside your world this week. So let's go back a week, maybe 10 days, and let's talk about Backlash. Jaime, we saw the debut of Shinsuke Nakamura. What are your thoughts?
I'm not that impressed. See, he could have been paired with a better wrestler, but I just didn't think that he clicked that well with Dolph Ziggler compared to his other WWE matches on NXT.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Alex, did you see the match? What did you think? Were you impressed with Nakamura at all?
Honestly, it was very disappointing, even compared to his other work in NXT. He just did not have much chemistry there with Dolph.
Yeah, it definitely seemed like he came out flat, especially, 6-7 weeks of build-up, and, he's got a good entrance, but it's getting a little, I'm kind of over it, and now, I don't know what he's doing. I don't know what he's doing with the hand gestures and everything else. It's like, he's a weird kid in high school that everybody thought was kind of smart, but kept to himself, and he just very weird. And I'm not a fan of Shinsuke Nakamura. But let's move on. We had a death at Backlash. Now, I don't know if either of you guys are going to get this reference, but Moppy died. For those of you that don't know who Moppy is, Moppy was Perry Saturn's girlfriend, right? I mean, that's what we should call it, girlfriend? Partner, yeah, let's go with partner. And there's a story behind that. Perry Saturn got screwed when something happened, I guess a fight backstage. Basically, they wound up screwing him over when he came from WCW, and they made him choose a mop over Terry Runnels, which proves that he's insane. And then we got treated to a bunch of skits with Perry Saturn taking the mop out on a date. Anyway, Moppy has been gone for a while, as has Perry Saturn. Moppy got broken by Jimmy Uso. That leads us to the Fashion Police taking on the Usos for that Tag Team Championships. Alex, are you a fan of the Fashion Police?
I am the biggest fan of the Fashion Police. They're so stupidly funny. I cannot think of another wrestler outside of Santino, especially a tag team, that is as funny as the Fashion Police.
That's very true. Jaime, are you a fan of the Fashion Police? What did you think of their match with the Usos?
I like their match with the Usos because the two show that they can work, they can make their goofy gimmick work. Like I told you before, they remind me of Edge and Christian back when they did that flash photography thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I completely agree with you on that one. I'm just, as much as they have built up the Usos as being this ultimate, almost hardcore without using weapons kind of thing, I don't see that Breezango is going to be anything more than maybe a good match here or there, and a bunch of comedic stuff in the repertoire. I don't see them ever challenging for the tag team titles. Speaking of that, they actually went on to SmackDown and had probably the 2 segments of the show. We'll get to more on that later. Sami Zayn, Baron Corbin. Anybody care for this match at all? I didn't.
It was, I don't know. It was such odd booking. I didn't get it. I didn't get why they had Sami Zayn go over when they've been booking Baron Corbin as this absolute monster for months.
Especially since there's rumors going around that Corbin is being groomed for a title run close to WrestleMania. So that remains to be seen. Jaime, what is your opinion of the Corbin-Zayn thing going on?
Same, I hated the finish. You know me, I have a thing for Baron Corbin. And as much as he was able to put up with his previous matches, the Sami Zayn-Baron Corbin match at Backlash disappointed.
I can understand that. Okay. Now, if any of you have read my recaps in the last month and a half, you guys know that I am about as down on the Welcoming Committee and basically the entire SmackDown Women's Division as anybody has ever been down on anything, unless maybe Lita's involved. Now, Jaime, you know I can't stand what they've done to Natalya. Where do they go from here with the Welcoming Committee? After Backlash, the match was just terrible. Becky looked terrible. Carmella was just god-awful. James Ellsworth probably saved it. But where do they go from here? Is this a Charlotte-Naomi thing now?
I actually do not know where they're going. The Superstar shakeup messed up the women's division big time. Especially when they brought, the biggest character of them all, Alexa Bliss, to Monday Night Raw. And they also brought the second biggest character, Mickie James, to Monday Night Raw. So, I really don't know where they're going from here. So maybe a Charlotte-Naomi thing is the only thing clearer than what it is right now.
You literally just made my head hurt by saying Alexa Bliss is the biggest character. I don't understand that. Alex, do you care? Women's Division SmackDown.
No, I can't care. I cannot possibly care about women, the women on SmackDown, because it is just women be crazy, and I don't know what's going on.
I am so glad that I'm the one that gets to edit this podcast, because that little snippet right there where it said, I don't care about women, that might be your doom, sir.
That's hardly the worst thing I've ever said, let's be fair.
Yeah, you've been pretty god-awful on Twitter this week. AJ Styles, Kevin Owens. This match had the potential to be a match of the year. And then they ended it with proper decorum dictates that I can't give you guys the proper way of telling you how I feel about that ending. Alex, I'm right here, right? That was the wrong thing to do.
I'd say so.
Jaime, you agree?
I agree. They should have gone with a better controversial finish than AJ Styles' foot, stuck in a cable on the announce desk.
That's what that was? I thought he was just beat up to where he couldn't move. I didn't even get that. That was terrible. Speaking of terrible, Luke Harper, Eric Rowan. Alex, go. Tell me about it.
This match should have been so much better than it was, but, after that AJ Styles Kevin Owens match, the crowd was dead. They did not care. These two guys clearly did not care about the match. The match had zero build-up. It was just awful.
Jaime, you agree or disagree?
Yeah, I agree. I actually think they put that match right before the main event so the fans could go on a pee break.
Well, you brought up the main event, and you brought up the fans too, and this is one thing that bothers me about the international wrestling community. Everybody says, I see all these people complaining about this, or I see all these people complaining about that. And then I look through the comments on Facebook posts or retweets on Twitter, and I'm like, nobody's really complaining. There's one or two guys, but for every 2 guys that are complaining, there's 8 guys that are saying, I see everybody's complaining and they're wrong. I think Jinder Mahal is way more over than what people give him credit for. He's like one of those characters that everybody wants to boo until it's time to boo, and then they secretly are cheering for him. So, we all know he won the title. Jaime, what are your thoughts? Is Jinder Mahal a legit WWE champion?
Yes, he has good heel work, you know. Heels have not been credited for what they have been credited too much for their heel work that they are starting to get cheered. But for Jinder Mahal, it was still all boosts regardless if the fans wanted to cheer him deep inside. So he's a legit heel and it's a new face in the title picture. So it's a good call to put the belt around his waist.
Alex, what are your thoughts?
Here's what I want to know. I've seen a lot of people comparing this to Bret Hart in that Jinder is going to be a heel in India and a heel here and a face in India, and Bret was a heel here and face in Canada. But the only problem I can foresee with that is Jinder actually over in India?
Oh God, yes.
Is wrestling itself even over in India? I genuinely don't know.
Oh my God, what are you, racist now too? Misogynist?
No,
racist?
I'm not even. That's not even racist. I'm just like, do Indians actually watch a lot of wrestling? I genuinely don't know.
Let me tell you how big wrestling is over there. Impact is doing live shows from India, and it sold 50,000 seats, and their biggest Indian star is Mahabali Shira. That should tell you how big wrestling is.
Okay,
It's big over there.
Putting the belt on Jinder was the right call then.
Absolutely, it was the right call. But you know, I was going to do this during the trial of Danny D as my opening statement, but Dan's not with us this week. We had some unforeseen circumstances. We're going to have to postpone that trial for right now. But this has to be said. There's a cancer in professional wrestling, and it's a cancer that is largely self-inflicted. Indie wrestling fans, and particularly the people that think they're inside and want to refer to themselves as the smart marks and everything else, are killing professional wrestling as we know it, because when you sit there and you make a choice to choose between an indie wrestling show and Monday Night Raw, you're basically saying screw professional wrestling, because you would rather give support to somebody who's been wrestling for a year and a half than somebody who's worked their entire life to get to the very pinnacle. And make no mistake, no matter how you feel, Monday Night Raw is the pinnacle. And people are crapping all over it. And not only are they crapping all over it, they're not giving any reason why they're doing it, or if they are giving a reason, they're not giving any solution on how to fix it. You know, if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. And this is going to be a growing problem, because the more people tune away and turn off Monday Night Raw, Tuesday Night SmackDown, even Thursday Night Impact, or any pay-per-view in favor of some indie wrestling show, they have to pay $29.95 to buy a DVD off the internet from some shady guy who also sells porn. They're going to kill the professional wrestling industry, because when the WWE dies, when Impact dies, it's going to be the same way as when WCW died. All those guys that they bitch, moaned, and complained about, where do you think they're going to go? They're going to go to the freaking indies. The WWE is going to perish, and then you're going to see guys like John Cena and Randy Orton, the same guys that you bitch, moan, and complain, are going to go to Ring of Honor. They're going to go to PWG, and they're going to wrestle there.
You're under the assumption that it's possible for WWE to die at this point. It is not. It is like Disney. They are officially too big to fail.
Oh, contrary, because they said the same thing about the NWA. They said the same thing about WCW. You know how many articles you can search on the internet right now and say WCW will never die because it's got the billions of dollars that Ted Turner has. Vince McMahon doesn't have as much money as Turner had when WCW was in its heyday. All it takes is one merger, one business venture, or something terrible to happen to somebody in the WWE, and it's going to die because the fans will stop watching it. And then all those high-priced stars that they're complaining about that can't freaking wrestle are going to go to the indies, and then the fans are going to bitch about them there, and it's going to kill the indies, and before you know it, we're all going to be left packing ourselves into 100-seat VFW halls because you people can't get it through your thick fucking skulls that wrestling is the way it should be, and you guys don't need to bitch about it because you're killing the freaking
Dude.
industry.
Dude, chill your tits, man.
That was brewing.
Chill your tits.
That's been brewing for the last month or so. Okay, so Monday Night Raw. We get more build-up for Extreme Rules. Now, I'm personally not a fan of a show that wants to refer to itself as Extreme and then not have an Extreme Rules match on the card. Jaime, what match are you most excited for Extreme Rules?
I think I'm going to go with the Fatal 5-Way, provided that it follows Extreme Rules. If the 5 of them hit each other with the, what do you call them, foreign objects, if the 5 of them try to cancel each other out with foreign objects, fight as if it's really a hardcore Fatal 5-Way, then I'm looking forward to that match. But if it's just going to be a normal Fatal 5-Way, as good as the action would be, I wouldn't be looking forward to it that much.
Okay. Alex, is the Fatal 5-Way your creme de la creme thing now?
No, I'm honestly going to have to say the Hardys versus Sheamus and Cesaro.
Nice. Very solid choice. What's got you excited about that?
What's got me excited about it is that it's pretty much the only match that doesn't look terrible.
Whoa. Now, I get where you would say that, the kendo stick on a pole match doesn't excite you.
I want to know when they rehired Vince Russo.
Just because something is on a pole doesn't mean Vince Russo is behind it. I mean, there's a chance he's behind it. It's possible he's behind it, but it doesn't mean he's behind it. And it makes some kind of sense. I would rather it just be a straight kendo stick match and just give the girls kendo sticks and you can let them go.
I'd rather it just be like a barbed wire rope match or something, but, PG.
Yeah, so we're just going to throw out the cousin thing, I guess, huh? All right.
I guess.
Nah,
that one just kind of slipped out there, sorry.
We'll put it under not safe for work for this week. So, who attacked Enzo Amore? Anybody got any theories?
Well, judging by the facial expression, I think it can be Big Cass, but rumor has it that they're trying to set up the Revival's return with that Enzo attack angle.
Didn't someone actually break down the footage and show the Revival being, walking away in the background or something?
I didn't see it, but I heard a rumor that was the case. If so, they're missing a golden opportunity to turn Cass and put him into the spotlight or at least give him a run by himself. Gert did a piece on the website, the mid-card's dying on SmackDown. It's not much better on Raw outside of The Miz and Dean Ambrose. This would be a chance to put some fresh blood into that Intercontinental Championship mix.
The problem with Big Cass, a single run for Big Cass, is that Big Cass absolutely cannot talk.
He can.
Yeah, he kind of can.
No, he really can't. Every time I see a promo from him, it looks like a child in their school play reciting lines.
Welcome to professional wrestling. I mean, there's not.
You're gonna put that on the same show as Chris Jericho was on, that Kevin Owens was on.
Was, not is. Raw's rebuilding, and name one big man that's over 7 foot tall that could cut a promo.
Big Show?
No. Absolutely not.
He could cut some damn good promos.
No, he couldn't. The only good promo he did was when he battle rapped John Cena. And I'm pretty sure that was scripted for him. Other than that, the Big Show, I don't know if it was his voice or anything else, he was a travesty on the microphone. So, anybody else you can think of? The Undertaker, maybe. But
no, I wouldn't say Taker, because all he ever did was spout one line.
Oh, sir. Watch the corporate ministry stuff. He did some pretty...
Oh, yeah, I guess he did.
He did some pretty scary stuff.
No, that wasn't really the Undertaker. That was Biker Taker.
No, that was very much the Undertaker, because He crucified Stone Cold Steve Austin on his symbol and Stephanie McMahon on his symbol. Because the higher power Vince McMahon told him to. Let's talk about more stuff that happened on Raw and Raw that happened in the last 2 decades. Kalisto, new ring attire. It's blacked out. He had a pretty decent match against Apollo Crews. It looks like we may be headed toward a match with them coming up at Extreme Rules. Where do you guys see Kalisto? Should he be on 205 Live? Alex, should he be on 205 Live?
What would you do with him on 205 Live, though? I mean, you already have the Noam Dar, Alicia Fox stuff going on. You have the title's pretty much a cluster
of 2 people.
Cluster bomb
of 2 people.
Brian Kendrick, T.J. Perkins, Neville. That's more than 2 people there.
Because Kendrick has his own thing going on with Tozawa. Am I right there, Jaime? Kendrick and Tozawa is still going on?
I think they already buried the hatchet with that street fight that Tozawa won.
Well, I mean, it just seems like with Austin Aries and Neville, we've seen it so many times they're still going to keep pushing it because they have a match at Extreme Rules as well. You put Kalisto on 205 Live and you just let him be Kalisto. I mean, it seemed very out of the ordinary to see him talk as much as he did with Apollo Crews. Let him do that on 205 Live. You know, is there a luchador on 205 Live right now?
A full-time luchador, no. Nah.
Well, isn't Lince Dorado supposed to be coming in sometime soon?
He is just a part-timer, but he isn't a full-timer, and they haven't been building him up to come as a full-timer. Maybe once in a while, you'll just be surprised he's there, but as much as a full-time luchador in the storylines, no, they do not have one.
And that's terrible. Because, you know, luchadors are what made this amazing and, you know, made 205 Live even possible. And now it's just, what the hell? Why don't we have that on a show that was created pretty much specifically for them? Alex, you brought up Noam Dar. He got the taste slapped out of his mouth by Sasha. Is this something you guys are excited for? Sasha Banks, Alicia Fox? Or does this just show how far Sasha's fallen down the card? Alex, are you excited?
More excited than Bayley versus Alexa Bliss, maybe. But excited in terms of, am I going to probably watch the entire match and not go and do something else? No.
Jaime, you feel the same way?
I think she's falling down the card. I'll take the latter.
Yeah, I you know, it's amazing to see that Sasha was, you know, the first woman to main event a pay-per-view, and now she's gonna be probably a palate cleanser match before the main event, and it's terrible. And, you know, Alicia Fox has been around forever. She maybe deserves better. I could care less about this match, and honestly, if it wasn't even on the card, I would rather see somebody cut a promo than this match. I would rather see Vince McMahon have somebody join his Kiss My Ass Club. I would rather see Torito and Hornswoggle than this match.
Hold on. Are you implying that Torito and Hornswoggle was not a 5-star masterpiece?
I have seen 2 monkeys hump a football that were more coordinated than them two.
That was the greatest match of our lifetime. You, sir, have no taste.
Oh my god, Sometimes I want to reach through the internet and slap the taste out your mouth. Austin Aries and Neville. We started talking about 205 Live. They're going to have a match at Extreme Rules. Is this the last one, Jaime? You're our 205 Live guy. You tell me, is this the last time we're going to see these two for the Purple Championship?
I think, yes, it's going to be the last time, but I also think that once again, Neville's going to win this match because this is going to set up the Neville PJ Perkins eventual feud that's going to happen because of all of Neville's empty promises that we see on Monday Night Raw and we also see on 205 Live. He keeps on giving TJP empty promises, and they're eventually going to fight for that belt. So
Okay.
I think Neville's going to win this. This is going to be the last between the two for that belt before Neville moves on to TJP.
Alex, is there anything else from Raw you want to cover before we move to SmackDown and ultimately to Impact?
No, not really, because that's pretty much all I saw from Raw.
Yeah, I wasn't really into much. I mean, the Matt Hardy Sheamus match was great. You know, Samoa Joe and Bray Wyatt, that tag team match in the main event, was decent, but nah. I wasn't really excited for Raw, and that kind of continued after about the first 15 minutes of SmackDown. Let's talk about SmackDown. You know, Shane opens it, introduces the 5 guys that are going to be in the ladder match. Conspicuously, Kevin Owens wasn't one of them. Alex, we now have 6 in the Money in the Bank. What are your thoughts on... Make your pick. What are your thoughts on the field?
If I had to take a guess on who's going to win Money in the Bank, Sami Zayn.
Ooh, interesting. Jaime, your pick.
Baron Corbin. I'll still go with my man.
I'll say, how did I already know what was coming out of your mouth? You're both wrong, and let me tell you why. It ain't going to be AJ and Owens. It ain't going to be Corbin and Zayn. Corbin's not there yet. Zayn is there to do a couple of crazy spots off a ladder that probably shouldn't be in the match. AJ and Owens, they're not going to burn through that already by putting one of them in the title picture when they're one of the hottest things going on SmackDown. So who does that leave? That leaves Nakamura and Ziggler. I think they're going to use the next couple of weeks to test Nakamura. If Nakamura can come around, if he can prove that how do I want to say this? If he can prove that his debut wasn't complete garbage, then I'd say he's got a shot. Honestly, it's going to be Dolph. Because he meshes well with Orton. His style he would turn, and he would look so sympathetic getting the crap beat out of him by Jinder, or getting the crap beat out of him by Orton. They can go 100 different ways with Dolph as the Money in the Bank guy. Plus, Dolph's won it before. He's used the stuff before, and when he did, it was actually believable and entertaining. You put it on Owens. Owens isn't, I don't see them getting a lot of the usual, hey, I'm going to cash it in, no I'm not. I'm going to cash it in, no I'm not kind of thing. You know, you're going to get a lot of, same thing with AJ. They don't need it. You know, with Corbin and Zayn I think they're going to be hot for a long time. So, I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I'm just thinking it's going to be Dolph or Nakamura. What else came from SmackDown that you guys look forward to, Jaime? What was the one thing that really blew you away?
The eventual tag team championship match between the Usos and Breezango. See, at one point I actually thought that Breezango was going to win it. They had a fighting chance in that match.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree with you. The quick pinfalls, they weren't something that bothered you at all?
Not that much.
Okay, Alex, what were your thoughts on the tag team division? Was it something you cared for? Was it something you liked?
I don't think I actually see the tag team segments on the SmackDown. But if it was anything like it was on Backlash, then yeah, I'm looking forward to another Uso versus Breezango match.
Well, we may not get that actual match. I mean, I hope we do, because I think it's one of the greatest things going right now. but it is entirely possible that we're not gonna see what's gonna happen with that. We may never see it again. So we'll look to that. We had more of the welcoming committee, I guess, for lack of a better term. I had to censor myself there. But we had more of them this week. I still don't care. Like, I'm not sure they could do anything right now that could make me care about these people short of sacrificing James Ellsworth to the wrestling gods. I really don't see anybody caring. They didn't do anything for me this week. They didn't do anything for me last week, and it's been a series of just a terrible storyline they keep running that's driving the division into chaos. Jaime, talk to me. What do you think?
I'm not invested in that women's division storyline. I'm actually more entertained whenever JBL picks on James Ellsworth on commentary.
Oh, absolutely. It's one of the greatest things they're doing right now, although with the whole bullying thing, I mean, I'm not sure it's the smartest thing. But
JBL is a douche. He should be fired. Fire JBL.
Hey, come on now. Why you gotta be a dick?
It's a meme at this point, let's be honest.
Yeah, but why you gotta be a dick, though? I mean...
If anything, I'm mocking the meme more than anything.
I'm just... I don't know. Like, part of me wants to... Like, I know JBL is a prick. But part of me wants me to believe that it's not... I mean, it's a character, right? I mean, he's not that big of an asshole, right? Right?
He's from the South, of course he is.
Hey, Texas is not the South. Texas is its own country. Ask anybody from Texas, they'll tell you. Okay, I got a question for you. For both of you. Jaime, we're going to start with you. Which is scarier? The fact that they gave Baron Corbin and Sami Zayn 2 minutes for a match and 10 minutes for the beatdown of Sami. They teased the end of the Fashion Files, which is probably the most entertaining segment on SmackDown. Or the fact that the welcoming committee still exists. Or the fact that we could go into a second, or probably a third straight WWE pay-per-view and completely hate the entire card.
I think I'm going to go with, because for Money in the Bank, the main event has a lot of promise, but they're teasing the end of the Fashion Police. I think I wouldn't like that to happen, but for the welcoming committee, I just don't care.
Okay. Alex, same question to you. Which is scarier, the beatdown, the welcoming committee, or the terrible cards?
The terrible cards are expected. It's WWE, and the beatdown is just classic WWE booking as well. The thing that scares me is that they're literally repeating storylines they did not even 2 years ago. Because this welcoming committee against the whatever the hell they're calling the other team is literally just Team Bad versus the Party versus whoever the hell. It's literally just that with one less team.
Yeah, that's...
Reminds me more of Lake.
Okay, yeah, alright. Well, we're about halfway, well, we're actually way over halfway through the show. So we're going to take this time to put pause on things and let you know what's going on in our lives. Now, for those of you that are unaware and don't follow us on Twitter, the Caps Locks and Chair Shots podcast has found another home. Not only can you find us on SoundCloud and on YouTube, we are also fully uploaded and live on RealSport101.com. Now, if you've gone to RealSport101.com in the past, we encourage you to go again, as the website has been completely revamped, complete with quizzes, listicles, and all your favorite articles from all your favorite wrestling writers around the world, including the one, the only, the Jaime. Jaime, what are you working on this week?
this week you're still my partner in crime. I do the previews way before you do the recaps, and I'm also working on the recaps for NXT and 205 Live.
Why you gotta bury me like that, Jaime?
No,
Why you throwing shade?
Partner in crime.
You're throwing shade. I do this way before you do that. You're throwing shade, man. I get those recaps done as soon as I can, but you want to sit there and throw shade at me? All right, I got you.
No, I'm not.
You're gonna be the next one I'm gonna start persecuting. You just wait.
Hey.
Once I get done with Dan.
First, the preview or the recap?
Once I get done with Dan,
Jaime.
Jaime.
The preview or the recap?
All right, fine. Once I get done with Dan, Jaime, you're on the list. Alex,
God.
tell us what's going on with you.
Well, just this morning I uploaded a new video to YouTube, first one I've done in a few months, a review of the gay pornographic film, what the hell is it? The Da Vinci Load.
Wait, what? You reviewed a porno and put it on YouTube?
Yeah. It's just it's not the porn parts, it's just the story.
Are you that bored? Can't you go to the movie theater and review a movie there? Didn't Marvel just release another movie? How about Star Wars? Have you reviewed Star Wars? Start watching all the Star Wars. Absorb the message of Star Wars.
I don't watch anything newer than a decade old. So.
Star Wars.
Well, everyone's seen Star Wars.
I don't know where to go from here. I had something planned out, but that just blew my...
Also, later tonight, I will be doing a live reading of erotic fanfiction on my channel.
What's wrong with you?
I can probably think of a lot of things.
Like, is this for real?
Yes.
This was not on the application when I brought you in to do this podcast. Like, I can deal with the borderline racism and the insensitivity toward terrorist attacks. I get it. Everybody's got their own opinion. Fine.
Hold on. Wait, what? When was I insensitive about terrorist attacks? What?
No, anyway, I can deal with all that stuff. But this? I mean... Wow. Okay, well, hey. You know, whatever floats your boat, I guess. I mean, yeah, that's cool. You're gonna have all your clothes on during this stuff, right?
Yeah, obviously.
Everything's gonna be tucked in. We're not gonna see anything but your face, right?
Yeah. No, it's PG.
If it's erotic fan fiction, it can't be PG. That doesn't mesh.
It's PG-13.
That still doesn't work. That's like saying it's a bright sunshine at midnight. It doesn't work. It can't be both. Then it's not erotic fiction.
No,
it's just
no masturbation will be seen on camera. Just talked about.
Okay, so it's rated R for strong content.
Yes.
Okay. So there you have it, folks. If you want something a little creepy to do tonight, listen to him read you a sexy book.
Well, I mean, it's just I'm making fun of it though. That's the joke. It's
okay. Well, that's better. As long as you're not sitting there, you know, by a fire with some Chianti and a pipe, and you're reading a book in a silk robe with an ascot.
I'm going to read bad erotic fan fiction.
Okay. I just want to make sure you're not in like a wingback chair with an ascot and a silk robe, sipping liquor and reading people, you know, porn, basically. So.
No, God, no.
Okay.
Don't. I know you all want to hear my beautiful, sexy voice.
I don't want to hear your voice, and we do a podcast together, let alone. In fact, you may be the reason we only have like 7 subscribers across 3 different platforms. We'll talk about this later, but I'm blaming you, not me, because I'm perfect. You know, and so is Vince McMahon. He'll be to the wrestling god. Anyway, moving on. Let's go to Impact, and I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm getting burnout, and I don't think I'm getting burnout. So I think this is the actual problem. Did anybody else feel like this entire wrestling week from Backlash till today pretty much phoned in?
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad we're all in agreement. We saw a return last night. Now, I didn't like this guy when he was in WCW. I didn't like this guy when he was in the WWE. I still don't like this guy. The more I read about this guy, the more I really hate him. Big Papa Pump, the big bad booty daddy, is back on wrestling television. He is Josh Matthews' partner for his match against Abyss and Jeremy Borash at Slammiversary. Jaime, why?
Yeah, I didn't like it. It wasn't a surprise. It wasn't an OMG moment. I didn't. What's he gonna do? What's he gonna do in the ring with Abyss? Whoa, Joseph Park. Sorry.
Well, when the bell rings, they've said in promos, when the bell rings, Joseph Park goes away, and it's something dark and demented that he likes to keep shackled down in the deep pits of his soul. So, Alex, are you excited to see Scott Steiner back?
Yes, but not as a wrestler. The guy is absolutely insane, and he's a meme. He's a walking meme. He's a meme-generating machine. And it's hilarious.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Yeah, it's gonna be funny. What's not gonna be funny is when he goes to do something and drops Abyss on his head or breaks Jeremy Borash's neck.
No. He should be a manager.
No, I don't even think he should be in wrestling anymore.
Come out of the ring.
I just don't think it's gonna be funny when.
Well, I mean, he's got to shill his shonies somewhere.
Yeah, but I forgot about all that. I don't think it's going to be funny when some fan starts heckling him at Slammiversary and his temper snaps and he breaks the neck of a fan and Impact is going to die because they're going to have to pay the lawsuit from this fan because Scott Steiner broke his freaking neck. The guy's got a temper with a fuse about as long as a Japanese firecracker, which are smaller than Chinese firecrackers. Did not know that. Anyway, Jaime, who wins in Slammiversary? Do you care now?
You mean the Scott Steiner match?
Yeah, who wins that match?
I don't think I'm going to care about that. I'd rather see JB and Josh Matthews get it on one-on-one rather than having Joseph Park and Scott Steiner.
Exactly. They took the hottest feud that they have and they ripped it to shreds. Now,
that says a lot about Impact when the hottest feud is between their two announcers.
You wanted to talk about a walking meme? Josh Matthews could be one of the most hilarious people on social media, and now he's the vice president of the company. From what he said last week,
hold on, is that an actual thing?
No, it is not. As far as I know, he has nothing to do with Anthem Communications. But, like I said, it's not uncommon for stuff to change. Speaking of things that change, or things that don't change, we saw another Davey Richards, Eddie Edwards match, where the women were involved, and then how many times are we going to have to watch Eddie Edwards get handcuffed to the bottom rope so they can beat up his wife? Alex, is this getting old for you?
It got old weeks ago.
Jaime, they're still having the best match on the card, despite how it ends. Is this something you want to keep seeing? I mean, it's got to be over at Slammiversary, right?
I hope so. But the thing about that feud is, the feud itself is not old, but they have to think of ways of trying to up one another. You see?
Right. Well,
no more handcuffs. No more handcuffs. No more cheap shots. You see?
I just don't know how they can do it. Like, I don't know what else is left. Like, what else can they do besides, hey, here's a sword. Here's a sword. First one to die loses.
See, that would actually be entertaining.
A good old-fashioned machete match. Straight out of Walk Hard. Let's go with that.
I'd pay the $60 to buy Slammiversary if that happens.
Yeah, I'm going to have a serious talk with Patches there. Buddy, if you're listening, probably not going to watch Slammiversary. I don't have the $60 to be disappointed for 4 hours. If I want to do that, I'll go to the strip club. Anyway, let me ask you guys a question. KM, is it the worst music in wrestling?
He's the worst character in wrestling.
Alex? KM.
Yeah, he's just terrible.
Speaking of terrible, Falaba and Mario Bokara, they won one match in 3 months. Are they literally just there to job? Alex?
I think so, yeah.
Jaime?
They're designated jobbers.
Is that... Yeah, okay. You guys need to disagree more. Speaking of disagreements, Rockstar Spud and Swoggle have a disagreement. He didn't mean to pull his pants down. I think this is one of the most... Are they trying to be funny? Because if they're not, it's one of the most hilarious things Impact has done in recent memory. Are either of you guys excited to see Hornswoggle, and Rockstar Spud go at it?
I like to see where the storyline goes, but I'm actually intrigued of how that would happen in the ring, given that Rockstar Spud, despite his size, is significantly bigger than Swoggle. So you won't expect Swoggle doing body slams on Rockstar Spud. So I'm actually intrigued how the actual match will go.
Would it be a body slam or would it be like a ankle slam? Anyway, Alex, what do you think? Rockstar Spud, Swoggle. You meet them both in a dark alley. Who do you want to face?
Well, Swoggle, obviously, because I can just hold my arm out and he can like swing at me like and he can't reach me. So I mean, I'm safe. Rockstar Spud will probably kick my ass.
Wow. So now, misogynistic, racist, and you're against little people. You're 3 for 3.
I mean, yeah, if you're gonna be against anything, it better be midgets, because what are they gonna do, right?
So I'm guessing a female Asian midget is just like hatred for you, right?
Hold on, I don't hate Asians. What?
Well, obviously. I mean, our good podcast buddy over there is Asian. Okay, let's go with Mexican. If it's a Mexican midget,
I'm not racist. You can make an argument about the misogyny because I make a bunch of stupid jokes.
I was gonna say we have it on audio of your misogyny. I don't care about women. Exact quote.
But the racism, I am not racist. All right, let's be fair to me at least a little bit.
Fine, you're not racist. But any white person that has to say, you know I'm not racist, chances are, probably racist. But I digress. How about this for a quote? Don't get me started on you like why you got a big-ass body and a little-ass head. James Storm with the line of the week. I thought it was one of the greatest rips on Bobby Lashley because if you look at him, it looks like somebody took a shrinking ray to his head. You know, he's the anti-Barry Bonds. Let's go with that. Now, speaking of Bobby Lashley, before we get to the actual match and who won, it was a triple threat between James Storm, Magnus, and EC3. Does anybody else have a problem with El Patron not being in this match?
No. I don't want to ever have to see El Patron again, honestly. He is so boring to me.
Oh, pero. Jaime. El Patron not being in that triple threat. What are your thoughts?
I think for this time it's fine, but I also think that for El Patron, they should start building him once again as an aristocrat rather than a fighter.
Well, he is the GFW champion for whatever that's worth, but I thought it was a big mistake not having him in there. But let's talk about the 3 guys that were in the match. Jaime, James Storm. What do you think? Does he, TNA original, now they're Impact, does he deserve the shot?
Of course, he could put up a good match, and you could put in a storyline of his last hurrah to the title, but still keep him in there. The same way they did with, let me compare him to the Cruiserweight division, where they gave Brian Kendrick that last hurrah. but still kept him in there after that last Pura angle. So I think they should do that with James Storm too. The fact that he's good on the mic, he can put up a good match, he could put up a good story in the ring.
Okay.
He should.
All right, Alex, Magnus. Does he deserve the shot?
Magnus is probably the only person I find more boring than El Patron.
I can see it.
He does absolutely nothing for me. Like, he is the most generic, bland, uninspired wrestler I have ever seen.
I mean, those are some strong words. But yeah, I can understand it. And you know, I gave each of you one, so I'm gonna take EC3. And of course, you know, the people that I talk about, probably winners, because you know, when you're this good, you're this good. I've loved EC3 since the day he came out as Dixie's nephew. I think he is a new generation and has a different style about him. Maybe not in the ring, but at least on the mic with some of the stuff he says. And, you know, I know Lashley kind of beat the crap out of him, but I think EC3 is the only one that can realistically make it believable that he could beat Lashley. You know, Magnus, for all, you know, Magnus is, he's a little small, and James Storm is too old. El Patron and Booby could have a pretty decent match, but I still think EC3 is going to be the best match they could have, and being that Slammiversary is the 15th anniversary of Impact, and it's, you know, 15 years of disappointing us. I mean, 15 years of wrestling. I think EC3 was the right choice. Am I wrong there, Jaime? Was EC3 the wrong choice?
He's the right choice. I agree with you. He's the one who would legitimately look like the one to beat Bobby Lashley. And since there's already a good backstory between the two, that makes it even more interesting to watch.
Okay, Alex. Given that these guys are as hot as they are and Slammiversary is still about a month away, are they maybe building that we're going to see a multiple-man title match at Slammiversary? Like, are we going to see these three and Lashley for the title, or are we going to see Del Rio join in? What do you think's going on there?
They could be, but I think, you know, because they're heading over to India, and I'm not sure how that's. Are they gonna want to put a bunch of big surprises on the shows in India?
You know, I can see it either way. I mean, I can understand. You know, this is the first major wrestling promotion that has ever done a live show from India. They've said it about 8 times on the broadcast.
I mean, it depends entirely on whether they want to go all out for these Indian shows, or if they just kind of want to stay the course that they're headed.
Yeah, you know what? I can see that. Trying to build the fan base, especially with Jinder being the champion, and that's something that just dawned on me. Is it possible? Because, I mean, if you're booking a venue, you do it 6 months out. 6 months out. I'm just spitballing here, and I'm probably wrong. Is it possible that the WWE caught wind of Impact going to India? That the WWE heard that they were going to do live shows from the subcontinent of India and decided, since they are building an office there, that they need to counter it with putting the main title on a Indian or a Punjabi star. Is this possible, or am I just speaking in conspiracy theories?
You're implying that WWE in any shape or form cares about Impact.
Look at the people on the roster. They obviously cared at some point. AJ Styles, Austin Aries, Bobby Roode.
Maybe a decade ago.
Or 6 months ago, when Angle was still employed with him. When Roode was still employed with him.
That was a bit more than 6 months ago.
Whatever. They're still pulling TNA talent. They're still watching TNA.
They're scouting TNA, just like they're scouting Ring of Honor and New Japan and Chikara and probably every other small fed on the planet.
Look at it this way. There's 1.1 billion people in India, correct?
Sure.
Wrestling is pretty big over in India, as we've been told on both broadcasts. So it makes sense that they would try to go to that market. The WWE didn't want to be beaten there the way that they were beaten to Japan by WCW. So what I'm saying is, maybe the WWE put the title on Jinder to do their bit to beat Impact. Jaime, am I wrong here?
I think they do not see Impact as a competitor just yet, as much as they're scouting Impact talent. I think I'll still go with they're trying to put a fresher face on the title picture by putting Jinder there.
Yeah, I can see that. I still think you're wrong, and I told you why. Let's move on. We got a few more things I want to cover. Laurel Van Ness, Sienna, beat the crap out of Allie. And then we have Rosemary come out. Rosemary and Allie have had a thing in the past. Laurel Van Ness might actually have to wash her face after she gets the mist. Sienna gets a red wedding, and then the uncomfortable stare down between the two. Where do you see the Impact Knockouts division, Jaime? Who is the one in charge here? Is it still Rosemary, or is Sienna with that GFW Championship gaining ground?
I think by letting Rosemary go out there and miss Sienna, it's like reminding the people that the Knockouts division is still Rosemary's to keep.
Right. Alex, is this another female division since you hate all women that you don't care about?
Yeah, I hate all the women, of course. No, I like Rosemary and I like Allie. The Impact Women's Division is probably the strongest of any company, honestly.
Well, being that there's only really two that we care about, yeah, I'd say so.
Well, I mean, there's Women of Honor.
Name one.
I don't know. I don't watch Ring of Honor.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Now, we are getting toward the end of the show. Jaime, give me your one good thing about this week.
I'll just go with the main event of Impact, since Impact has been impressing me since Anthem took over. So they've been trying to outdo the WWE in a smaller market, and they're making their mark in small ways.
All right.
So,
Alex, give me your one good thing of the week.
It's got to be the Febreze versus Usos match at Backlash.
All right. Now, we're going to wrap up the show here, ladies and gentlemen. And before we go, we are going to extend our heartfelt condolences to all those affected by the terrorist attacks in Manchester. We would also like to wish pain, death, and despair to all those responsible. That being said, we wish everybody health and happiness as they move forward. Jaime, do you have a new Twitter this week?
no, I told you it's for good, so it's still at the Great JLA. Follow me.
Okay, Alex, Twitter, go.
At Official Unfunny on Twitter and The Unfunny Comedian on YouTube. And you can also find me on Facebook as The Unfunny Comedian.
Alrighty, and you can find me and this podcast at CLANDCS, that's CL and CS on Twitter. You can also find us on our YouTube channel and SoundCloud, but since you're listening to it, you probably already know. You can find us there, just search Caps Locks and Cherry Shots. You can also find me and Jaime at the new and improved RealSport101.com. You can also find the podcast there, just go to the search Little Glass and put in Caps Locks and Cherry Shots. All 8 of these episodes, since this is episode 8, will be coming up. We have to handle a little business before we cut off. Now, as you know, I have been promising things that have not been delivered. We were supposed to talk about the death of WCW today. Didn't happen. We're going to put that aside for right now. Probably a little bit closer to the break before SummerSlam. We'll get around to that. We also promised the trial of the real Danny D, and as I said at the top of the broadcast, unforeseen family circumstances have prevented that trial from taking place. It is on a postponement until Dan can get his affairs in order and come back. Dan will be rejoining us. It's just a matter of time. Bino, we still miss you. Gurr, please promote us. Everybody else, if you're not down with the real Caps Locks and Chair Shots podcast, Alex has just 2 words for you.
Suck it!
Okay, Jaime has just 2 words for you.
Keep listening.
Yep.